my little butterflies, and welcome back to our series, The Broken Mirror. As always, the parts before this are linked in the description. This chapter was written by me, the art was done by Lazy, and for the voice actors, I'll be playing the narrator and Adrien slash Chat Noir.
Hi, I'm Lazy and I'll be playing Marinette slash Ladybug and Tikki.
We all want to thank you so much for 409 subscribers on YouTube and 409 followers on Spotify. That is genuinely so crazy. Also, guess what? There are only 4 more chapters of The Broken Mirror. Now, on with the show. Chapter 22, The Truth. Marinette has spent over an hour removing all reflections from her room. Her vanity mirror, a smaller makeup mirror, and her full-size mirror. She put a non-reflective film on her windows and computer. She shouldn't be able to see her. The events of last night were too much to bear. Her eyes were still puffy and red from crying, and her head hurt. She closed her eyes for a moment and allowed herself to rest a moment, though it wasn't long before her emotions caught up and swallowed her whole. Marinette let out a stifled cry, and she knew she needed to talk to someone. Chat Noir was out of the picture. She needed someone she trusted, someone who wouldn't ask too many questions, someone like Alia. She grabbed her phone and found her contact, her finger hovering over the call button. Just as she was about to press it, another name caught her eye and she quickly changed her mind. Her phone rang, which only added to the anticipation. The line finally went through and she spoke first.
Hi, Adrien, can we meet?
Yeah, sure. Where do you want to meet? His voice sounded similarly raw to Marinette's. She rolled her lip against the other.
Um, uh, the park?
Okay, do you want me to bring anything? You don't sound well, Adrien asked, hearing her broken voice.
No, I'm fine. See you in 20 minutes?
She tried to add a slight smile he could hear. All right, be there soon. With that, the call ended and Marinette sighed out loud.
Marinette, are you sure you feel up to go?
Tikki asked, knowing that Adrien was Chat Noir. Marinette tilted her head.
It's better than staying inside. Besides, we both need some fresh air.
Tikki gulped uncomfortably.
Okay.
Marinette got up from her chair and walked to her closet, pulling out a hoodie and flared black tights.
This'll do.
She decided. 5 minutes till and she was regretting her decision. Why did she choose Adrien to console her? I mean, sure, they were friends, but it would be awkward, right? The clock on her phone pressured her to make a move. Should she cancel or just show up? She swallowed her nerves and decided to show up, hoping his father didn't let him go. The walk to the park wasn't long, but it was still cold in early February. To her surprise, she found Adrien sitting on a bench, a long black wool overcoat draping over him. His eyes glossed over her before double-taking and lighting up. He smiled while Marinette made her way to him.
Hi, sorry for calling you last minute.
She apologized, tucking a loose strand of hair behind her ear and sitting next to him. Don't worry, Marinette. Natalie and my father are busy today, and I had nothing really happening, so if anything, you saved me. He slightly smiled and dropped his gaze. Marinette noticed how he was keeping his distance. Something was off. So, what did you want to talk about?
First off, I never asked you, how did it go with that girl you like?
She asked, trying not to overwhelm him with her problems yet. Oh, yeah, we started dating? He skeptically said.
Congrats, she must be a lucky girl.
She gave a believable smile. She is. He dropped his eyes for a moment. Now what's bothering you?
Nothing really. I mean, it's kinda stupid, not really worth saying.
She looked away. Hey. He set his hand on top of hers. I came out here to help. What's wrong? His eyes were endearing and sincere. She couldn't help but blurt.
Have you ever loved someone but then realized that they might not have loved you for the real you?
She watched his eyes for a moment. Marinette, you realize I'm a model, right? People say they love me, but they don't know the real me. There's few people who know the real me.
Your girlfriend?
She asked. He nodded. And you?
And Nino and Alia?
Somewhat. He chuckled. But hey, no one could love you for a fake version of yourself because every bit of you is real. Her lower lip quivered and she stared at him. He reminded her of Chat Noir. Not only his eyes, but the way he made her feel special and known. Adrien knew the real her. But did Chat Noir really? Sure, he found out she was Marinette and started dating her, but why did he just decide to try his luck at Marinette instead of Ladybug? What was so appealing about Marinette that Ladybug didn't have that made him change? Through all of those uncertainties, there was only one question that stuck. How did he figure out what she was like as Marinette if she never noticed anyone different looking at her?
Thanks.
Staring at him, she finally noticed a slight red tint up to his eyes and under eyes.
Have you been crying?
She hesitated. Have you? He countered.
In my defense, I just came out of a situation.
She laughed.
But what about you? Didn't you just get with the girl of your dreams?
She mentally laughed at her choice of words. He hesitated. Yeah, but things aren't perfect yet.
You want to talk about it?
She softened her voice. No, it's fine. I came here to help you, remember? She reminded her again. She smiled.
Right, thank you, by the way, for coming and all.
Yeah, of course. Moments like these make Marinette wonder whether or not she should have held on and kept on trying. He said it himself. She's one of the only ones who knew the real version of himself. Did that mean anything? She leaned in a bit, part of her eager to see what would happen. To her surprise, he leaned in as well, their lips only inches apart. To her dismay, Adrien's phone started ringing. He picked it up, and Marinette leaned back, suddenly feeling guilty for what she was about to do. Why didn't he stop? Why was it so easy for her to cheat? He had a girlfriend and she... What was Chat Noir to her? Did they even break up? I know, I'll be there soon, he finished, setting his phone on the bench. I have to go.
I thought you didn't have anything to do.
She asked, trying to cover for the moment they just had. He got up. I may have lied. Well, I'll see you later. I mean, at school. Tomorrow. He pointed finger guns at her. Because we go to the same school, and tomorrow's Monday. Yeah. He noticed how awkward he looked, pointing his fingers at her and quickly stopped, rubbing his neck. Sorry. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
She stuttered, unsure of why she found it difficult all of a sudden to speak. He acted relatively normal, besides the finger guns, like it wasn't like they were about to kiss. She knew it wasn't in her head because he leaned in too, and he said he lied about having things to do. Does that mean he snuck out? It would have to be true because his father would never let him out, especially if he had responsibilities. Marinette opened her purse to give Tikki the okay that it was somewhat safe. Tikki poked her head out.
You okay, Marinette?
She nodded slowly and gulped hard, still unsure of what just happened.
I think it's time to go home.
Marinette smiled half-heartedly and got up. The notes hidden under her keyboard scolded her each time she walked past them. Unlike a grease fire, if you left them under a metal lid, they wouldn't extinguish. They were a mystery, like Cinderella's shoe. Everyone could try it on and it could fit, but there was only one answer. Only one Cinderella. Just maybe not as friendly. Marinette read over each note she received from her mysterious stalker. The note she found in her purse at the Christmas light show.
One is revealed and so is the other. Watch your back, Ladybug.
The note she received after her platonic date.
3 midnight kisses? And I thought the second was important.
The note that appeared right before she knocked out and was met with Chat Blanc in a weird, realistic nightmare. 2
superheroes sitting in one room? A perfect ambush?
The note she found after prom night.
0 comitizations? Doesn't it bother you, Marinette?
But the final real note she got at school almost a week ago was missing, but replaced with...
Taken by a little black cat.
She didn't know if the little black cat was referring to Chat Noir, but he was the only black cat she knew. If there was any secret message, she wouldn't be able to figure it out without it. Sure, she got other notes, but they were written on sticky notes with scrawled handwriting. The notes that were cryptic were written on index cards with printed writing. She lit up the 4 notes in front of her, trying to make sense of the words. She couldn't work like this. She needed... Marinette sprung up from her chair and opened the large chest which she used to be filled with Adrien's birthday gifts for the next 50 years, but was now filled with a bulletin board, thumbtacks, and string which she used to make complicated plans to make Adrien fall in love with her. She set up a board in front of the chase, having to push against the wall for room. In the center of the board, she pinned a paper with a big question mark on it to signify the person behind this. Surrounding the marks were the 4 notes. She analyzed each note, starting with the first one and going all the way to the 4th.
Note number 1. One is revealed and so is the other. Watch your back, Ladybug. Received on Christmas Eve, December 24th, in my purse at the light show. Calls me Ladybug and gives it to Marinette. They know my identity and possibly Chat's. Note number 2. 3 midnight kisses, and I thought the second was important. Received after or possibly during the platonic date. December 28th, they know about all 3 of Shat and my kisses, calling them midnight kisses. Photos were leaked. Called the second important. Don't know what that means. Note number 3. 2 superheroes sitting in one room. A perfect ambush. Received on December 30th on my vanity right before I knocked out. An ambush? Maybe that's why I was knocked out. Note number 4. 0 commutations. Doesn't it bother you, Marinette? Received on or during prom night, January 8th. Mocks me for there being no commutation. Calls me Marinette. They definitely know.
She trailed red yarn from each one of the analyst cards, wrapping them around similar ideas. Marinette backed up from the board once everything she needed was hung. She squinted her eyes. There were no secret meanings, but they were all just warnings. She was missing something. She had to be. This couldn't just be it. Marinette tried to look for connections, capital letters in the notes. No, that's just OWLTATZDM. No secret meanings there. Number of words in each note, 12, 10, 9, 7. She tilted her head. A pattern? Either she was overthinking this and it actually meant nothing, or there was a chance this could work. That was 6 digits in total. The first numbers were 2 apart, and then 1 and 2 again. 2 and 2. Together 5. 5 notes. But she only had 4. The last was missing, taken by a little black cat.
Tikki, I need to transform.
She simply stated.
Why?
Tikki asked. She bit her lip.
Because... Tikki, spot's on!
She hadn't had a need to transform in 2 months, so the sensation felt new, but at the same time familiar. She pulled out her yo-yo and opened her and Shat's text messages. The last sent message from her on December 28th.
Be there in 2.
The keyboard popped up and she slowly typed out her message.
Sha, we need to talk. Can you meet me at my house?
She hit send and waited for it to deliver. She stared at the yo-yo, the scent not changing to red. She longed to tell him how sorry she was, how irrational she acted. She bit her lip. Why would he even want to see her again? She made it clear she didn't want to see him. Ladybug sighed. He had all the right reasons to not respond, or even show up. Then it happened. The scent changed to red. Another chat bubble popped up. Okay.
That's it!
She said aloud. How was she supposed to know how he was feeling if all he said was, okay? It meant nothing, it was neutral. Did he hate her? There was no way to tell. She swallowed hard and breathed deeply. No, he didn't hate her. If he hated her, he wouldn't have responded. And he did respond, so he didn't hate her, yet. Ladybug turned her attention to the board.
Any more connections?
She asked herself. They each had 2 sentences. Wait, no. Note 3 had only 1. They each... What is this? Noir came up from behind her. She turned around.
You came.
You asked for me, he replied.
Look, I'm really sorry about what I said last night. I was being irrational. To be honest, I was just scared because I thought you only liked me because I'm...
She looked down at her spotted suit. Lady, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. He laughed. I can never love only one part of you. I love you for you, because you're both. He pulled her in, wrapping his arms around her and staring into her eyes. He smirked. He pressed his lips against hers, sealing their apology. He kissed her softly, Ladybug's hands wandering his chest and hair. He pressed a kiss to the crook of her neck and she pecked his forehead before going back to his mouth. He gently picked her up and carried her to her desk, setting her down and staring at her a moment before she pulled the back of his head to hers. He kissed her harder and she reciprocated. His hands were in her hair, trying to free her pigtails and let her hair down. Ladybug noticed this and muttered the transformation words against his lips. She heard Tikki fly into a cabinet and Shat successfully let her hair down. He twirled her around his fingers and ran his fingers to the length of it. She could feel his heart racing in his chest. They stopped a moment to catch their breaths before continuing again, her hand smoothing every part of him she could reach. His chest, neck, face, hair, arms, back. He was soothing. Her mind wandered and she thought about the notes again. She tried to recite the notes from memory. She knew the first one started with 1, the second one starting with something like 3 midnight kisses, and the third one 2. Then it hit her.
They each start with numbers! They each start with numbers!
Marinette broke the kiss and blurted. What? Shat, who was still catching his breath, asked. Marinette breathed deeply to stop panting and scrambled to reach for a notepad and pen. She slid to the board and wrote down the numbers. 1320.
1320.
She mumbled. A 4-digit code.
Okay, let's make this quick. Thank you so much for watching. We say it so much, but we sincerely appreciate everything, including your amazing comments. Now, bloopers!
Because you're mine. If someone said that to me, I would fold instantly. Sorry.
3.14159. This is 5 followed by 2653589. Circumference over diameter 79 then 323. OMG, can't you see? 8466 with 3 and now we're on a 3. 38 and 32. Now we're blue. Ooh, who knew? 7,950 and then a 2. 88 and 41. So much fun. Now we run. 971,692,93751. Halfway done. Something. Where's the wine? I forgot the rest. Draw the cat eye sharp enough to kill a man.
Sorry, okay.